and his jigger.
Yeah, of course. I mean, now I'm gonna go back just for that, see if I can catch a glimpse of that thing.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiofiles. My name's John, his name is Andy, and we listen to music. But first, does anybody know how long to World War III? I want to know. I want to book my holiday. They want me in the army, but I just can't go. I'm far too busy listening to the radio. The whole thing's daft. I don't know why. You have to laugh, or else you cry. You have to live, or else you die. You have to laugh, or else you cry. Da, 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 da. More on that later. But first, we have tracks in two. Thrust forward by Conrad Andy. What have you got for us?
I have a band called Pinegrove. Have you heard of that band before?
No, I haven't. That's a charming name, though, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, the track by Pinegrove is going to be a live performance filmed at Audiotree. It's sort of one of those studio
Oh, I
performances.
remember those. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. So we're going to dig into that, and the track is called Need To.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be
So
nice if I'd have heard Need One first, but okay, let's dive straight into the sequel.
Everything can't be picture perfect, but yeah, jump into the sequel. Let me know what you think of it upon your return, my friend.
Affirmative. That's interesting. Really nice start. So you got this lovely guitar, and it sort of blossoms into a full sound, and it's really nicely joined together. Everything, this jangly guitar, full sound, the bass sounds really nice as well, and it's just quite beautiful actually. And then they seem to just slightly. It felt to me like the tempo slowed. It definitely quietened down a little bit. But it just felt like the tempo slightly slowed. Maybe a trick in my mind. I have to say, don't know why, but I was surprised by the sound of his voice coming out of that face. He looks like a scammy from an estate in Manchester. He clearly isn't, but for some reason I just assumed all that. And then this really nice voice comes out. I'm just going to pull that back. It's all down to me, not down to him. Let me just, yeah, okay, let's go from there. Yeah. Nice. short song. Sorry, we're going back. That was really interesting. So his vocals are really nice actually, and seem quite short. I don't know, 12 lines, something like that. And then it sort of goes and builds, um, and then they kind of almost slow down and stop. Now, there's some songs that I'm giving Andy recently, which I guess you could call post rock, where there's a lot of the songs are constructed in certain ways. I'm quite clever, I guess you'd call it, but whatever. Um, they're doing something here of a similar vein, but you can almost, that one you could see the join, like, okay, we're going on to the next idea here. Um, it's still really nicely done, don't get me wrong. And then this slide lead, and it's just building, and again they slow down, like pause of thought. So I'm just gonna reckon it's around here. No, looking at the wrong clock. Here we go. Somewhere around here. Yeah, nice voice. And another time change. That is beautiful. Yeah. That's a strange one because I don't know the way it's constructed and everything. I felt an emotional response to it. Really, really liked it actually, and it's interesting the way they messed around with the dynamics in terms of the timing and coming quiet and loud again. But then it wasn't, quiet, loud, quiet, which we've spoken about many times before. This was more donkey trail. We were just going to turn and meander and go into a different path now and then another one. Um, yeah, I've really enjoyed this. That slide particularly was just beautiful. His voice was excellent as well. The whole band sounded great. It couldn't be done unless they're all together and sounded great, and it was. Yeah, I really want to listen to this again, actually. Um, but first, we must. No, we must. We must go back and talk with Andy.
Right. Welcome back. And what did you make
Mhm.
of this Audiotree live studio performance, sir?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, which I'll expand on in a bit.
Please.
So it starts off with this really nice riff from, I'll say, the rhythm guitar.
Mhm.
And it kind of circles round on itself a few times, like a dog preparing to lie down in its basket. But thankfully, it doesn't go to sleep. Instead, the rest of the band join in, and it blossoms into this really extremely pretty tune. Um, the chiming from chap on lead, I will call him Mr. Capentash, has a wonderful tone to it. Really, really nice. It's kind of like a classic Brit jangly 80s guitar meets Americana. The two come together and make this lovely little cross-pollinated thing.
Hmm.
Um, I really enjoyed the tone to that very much. The band, as they play, then seemed to quieten ever so slightly, and I think, although from judging what happens later on, I'm pretty sure they slow the tempo down just a touch. Um, it was almost as a launching pad for the singer to get going. And now here I get a surprise, which is totally of my own making. Looking at said singer,
This has been
I
like to bite you a few times in recent history, but yeah, go on, let me know.
and of course the main thing about whenever you make these mistakes is you never ever learn. Because how else are you going to make those mistakes again and again and again? So looking at him, it just completely in my mind either standard Scally or some Mancurian from Estate Dweller. I don't know why I assumed that, but I just did instantly. And so when he starts to sing, his voice completely caught me by surprise. And he has a lovely voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really nice voice. It has a like a touch of yearning to it. Those first two lines he sings are delivered so well. I'm out. There's nothing here to care about. And in that, there's anguish and
Mhm.
resignation and warmth, all in just two lines, but done with control as well. He's not shouting and going mental. I was
Yeah.
really super
Which
impressed.
it's not contrived at all. It doesn't feel, all those things don't feel contrived that you said you
No,
noticed in his voice, right?
yeah. I'm really, really impressed. Just two lines in. Yeah, he's got it. One slight criticism, which is I could have easily handled a lot more of the vocals of this track. I
Hmm.
think after the brief sort of 10, 12 lines or whatever it was, it's a shame he didn't come back in towards the end. But, their choice, fine. But I'm just saying. So he starts singing, and I caught some words. What's that sound? What's that song about? I think he says. And we get some sort of like scratching chords from the singer's guitar, and then things start to get a bit more interesting. So through from this point onwards, there are subtle and some not so subtle shifts in the dynamics and the tempo, which I kind of thought I detected earlier. Um, at this point, we start to get some nice harmonies from the rest of the band. You see the drummer um, and Mr. Capentash singing. There's a microphone with a bassist guy, but you don't actually see him, but I presume he sings as well. I'm contractually obliged at this point to point out that the bass player is a lefty. I have to do it.
Yep.
Um,
Part of the
as
deal.
a fellow lefty. I also really enjoyed the open-mouthed action of the drummer throughout the song. Um, the thought of watching him eating fills me with dread. Yeah, but yeah, I still liked him nonetheless. So the guitars build with the extended vocal notes as he's sort of stretching out some of that. And as the last words, which is the title of the song, need to sort of finish, we get a definite pause before going into the next section. Now, I mentioned in the reaction that I have three songs for you, which coming up, which I the band approach the structure of their songs in interesting ways. You could almost call them like post rock or whatever in funny label you want to give them.
Mhm.
Um, but I found this approach by these guys fascinating as well. Um, so we talked about this before, these artistic choices. Why did they throw in the pause there? Um, it's not like they're attempting a difficult chord change and have problems getting their fingers in place, but it kind of gives you the impression that that's what they've got. And even the body swerve from the bass player adds to it. It's like they're launching themselves into the next section. They take a step and a breath, and here we go. And suddenly, Mr. Capentash has got his jigger out. Do you call it a jigger over there? It's like
Depends
a
on what.
shot measure. You know, when you're measuring shots for
Yeah.
spirit. But he got his jigger out. And I didn't notice it before. I don't think he had his jigger out before. And suddenly this beautiful slide guitar noise fills the air. We speed up slightly and then slow down and quieten again into a ponderous section, which doesn't get it's like it doesn't get too carried away with the idea. It's like, oh, let's just call our jets for a minute and just think it through. That's the kind of thing I was getting from that. And there's beautiful guitar, and it really is gorgeous, kind of then slows down to a stop. And it felt like a sort of donkey track of thought that was meandering through almost to an end. I do feel like I missed quite a bit on first listen. I didn't pay enough attention to the drums or the bass. They were there. And however, I have to say the whole sound was excellent. So the band did a great job in its completeness. I just didn't pay attention individually. So I really, really want to listen to this again. Um, I'm not sure what this is about, but I had a kind of emotional response to it, which had elements of something. I think it was like an idea or ambition or a dream that starts out from a position of uncertainty. It tries to coalesce, but then it culminates in sort of entropy, just dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of wave I got from this. But I really enjoyed this, and I thought this was really thoughtful as well, skillfully put together and performed as well live. Obviously, I keep forgetting that, even though they're right in front of me. So yeah, I was really impressed with this. Really
Awesome.
impressed.
I'm really, really glad you like this. And I think without saying exactly what it's about, you are roundaboutly talking about what the song is about. And we'll get to it as I go over in a bit. But your overall, what you said applies to the main theme of what the song is about. So, yes, Pinegrove. They are an American rock band formed in Montclair, New Jersey in 2010. The band's lineup is largely fluid and variable, with the singer-songwriter Evan Stevens Hall and drummer Zach Levine representing its core constant members. Um, yes,
When was this? Because they look very young.
this was eight
So it,
years. I think this was 8 years ago.
okay, I was
This
going to say
live
because
performance, yes.
either they formed when they were 5 years old, or this was done quite close to the, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
because yeah, that's a long time ago when they formed. So yeah, no, sorry, it's just they look very young.
Yes, and they I just think that they're young looking characters anyway, but
Yeah,
8 years ago, a lot can happen
yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
far as your aging goes. But yeah, the band's lineup again, just kind of for the most part, is constituted of the drummer and the lead singer and guitarist, and they just sort of bring people in as they go along. The musical style, which uses instruments such as banjo, pedal steel guitar, is commonly described as a mix between alt country and emo. Now, I know you didn't get a glimpse into that through this performance, but they do use some of those other instruments in their other
Okay,
tracks. Um, and also, as this song was very early in their career, and they've written and kind of blossomed in their sound a little bit as time has progressed. They are known for their literary lyricism and loyal following of fans, which refer to themselves as Pine Nuts, as you can probably imagine. It kind of writes itself. The band's name comes from a prominent pine tree row on a nature reserve at Kenyon College, where Hall attended university. They are known for their geometric iconography, specifically using square shapes and the usage of the ampersand in artwork and merchandise. Pinegrove is also recognized for their alignment with progressive causes, including charitable contributions to civil rights organizations. For example, the group released a live album called Elsewhere on the day Donald Trump was inaugurated as president in 2017, and all the sales were committed to civil rights advocacy. The group's style has been compared to a fusion genre forebears the Weaker Thans, as well as Wilco, Built to Spill, Gillian Welch, and early Death Cab for Cutie. Hall has listed My Morning Jacket, and Bon Iver among bands more direct musical influences. Pinegrove's early years were spent self-releasing music, including their debut album Meridian, which was released in 2012, and performing do-it-yourself house shows. The group issued an anthology of their early work titled Everything So Far in 2014, and this track Need To was featured on it. So this was almost like they just compiled all the stuff that they didn't put on, their first record that was still early stuff, and just released it as this album, Everything So Far. Their second studio album, Cardinal, in 2016, represented a breakthrough, gathering a devoted fan listenership and appearing on many music critics' top 10 year-end lists. After recording its successor, Skylight, Pinegrove took an unplanned, I should say, year-long hiatus after Hall was accused of sexual coercion by a person with whom he toured. Little context was provided by either party, but it was noted that both parties came to a resolution over the matter, though details surrounding the allegations and the resolution are scant. What can't be denied is that the situation definitely stalled what was a rapidly ascending star. And of course, I don't want to downplay or overplay what happened because I have no idea what happened. All I know is that at this time in America, and I think in the West in general, with the sort of the Me Too movement and everybody going through all the scrutiny, the label just kind of put a pause on all this stuff until the dust settled, which thankfully it eventually did without any serious, legal implications or anything like that, with all due respect to both parties involved. The
I
album
do think,
song. Go
sorry,
ahead.
can I just say,
Yeah, of course
I
you
do
can.
think you get this quite often. I think it's disappointing that a financial exchange or settlement is considered a satisfactory resolution because it's not.
Yeah.
It really isn't, and you cannot replace the truth with money.
Mm.
So this guy will have a question mark over him, and it may be rightly so. It may not be rightly so. We will never know, and
Yep.
that's bollocks.
Yeah,
Someone's
it tarnishes. The thing is if he deserves it, he deserves more of a tarnishing. And if he
yeah.
does, and if he didn't do anything, then he
He
doesn't deserve
deserves to have his name cleared. Yeah,
the last minute of this conversation shouldn't even be in this video. So it's very,
yeah,
along with all the other shit that's happened to him, this is minimal at best, but you know what I mean? Like it
yeah, yeah.
shouldn't even be a footnote. So it is aggravating for, I would think, all parties involved. Yeah, it's just
I
a
just don't
weird
think it
thing.
should be an op. I know why they do it and everything, but I just don't think it should be an option. You're replacing a commercial activity with the truth, which is problematic, as we've seen in many recent events.
Yes, I know what you're alluding to, and I agree completely.
And that's as much as I'll say. But yeah,
Yes, yes. The album saw a proper release independently in 2018 and was followed by several sold out tours. The band signed to British label Rough Trade for their next efforts, including Marigold in 2020 and their album 1111 that was released in 2022. The group announced a hiatus following Levine's exit from the group in 2023. Hall posted that the band would exist on a more casual basis in what was widely interpreted as a hiatus with no active plans for performing. Pinegrove is not over, but it seems this era is. Thanks for coming to see us play through the years, the post read. Metacritic's aggregated score for everything so far, the compilation album of the band's early works, is a 74 out of 100. Gwilym Mumford at The Guardian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Gwilym Mumford at The Guardian considered everything so far a nice introduction to the group, commenting, as with such completest compilation, there's a fair chunk of filler here, and over time, its 21 songs begin to congeal into each other a shade, but as an introduction to the band's many charms, it's a solid effort. Um, Timothy Monger at AllMusic said that ranging from lo-fi rock epics to strummed acoustic numbers that blend lonesome rural tones with desperate suburban ennui, everything so far is a testament to a band that sounded original out of the gate. The song opens with a field recording of bird, and this is more the recorded version, not so much the live version. But the song opens with a field recording of birds before segueing into a droning, despondent guitar riff. In a Reddit post, Hall mentions his satisfaction with the original recording, which he made in his bedroom, noting that while other songs in their catalog have been reinterpreted over time, Need To gets it right. So let's jump into all of these lyrics. They are, I'm out. There's nothing here to care about. What's that sound? What's that song about? It's nothing worth me saying aloud. So then why do I seem to need to? Then why do I seem to need to? And those are the lyrics. In the same thread that I just mentioned, he reveals the song as a meditation on songwriting itself. He expanded on the
Mm.
song's influences in a Rolling Stone piece sometime later. I was just sort of bummed out, spaced out, bored, those classic early Green Day tropes. And then too, this is really a song about songwriting, ultimately, and then trying to spur myself on. I was also reading a lot of Lydia Davis at the time, who's known for flash fiction, I guess you could say, or prose poetry maybe. So I was interested in writing songs that just had a single idea in them. And there's a few lyrics in the song. It's pretty much just like, okay, here I am, a human on this earth. Everything's a little bit fucked up right now, and yet I'm compelled to make things. Why is that? Isn't that strange? Why do I seem to need to? So yeah, it's not only grappling with the songwriting process or perhaps writer block therein or thereof, but also what's my inspiration? Why, when there's other things going on in life, is this what my number one outlet is or release is or my escape is from those things? And it's really concise. But I think you would kind of alluded to it in your description about how like you're stuck before a propulsion into another thing. And this is kind of like trying to write to get something out. Could easily be kind of like equated to the vibes you were getting from the lyrics.
Yeah, I was getting an overall sort of either creative or sort of thought process. That's what I
Yes,
was getting. But yeah, which kind of makes sense
and
now.
that's a creative release, right? Songwriting.
Yeah, yeah,
So there you have it. Thank you so much for giving this tune a listen. These are some talented guys up there in
yeah,
Jersey. And I thought, man, knowing how you like guitar and how I like guitar, I thought the guitar in this song would probably really speak to you, catch your ear. I'm glad you gave it a listen, that you enjoyed it, man.
yeah, yeah. It's really pretty. I really
Awesome,
enjoyed it.
awesome. Well, guys out
And
there,
and
oh, go ahead.
and his, and his jigger.
Yeah, of course. I mean, now I'm gonna go back just for that, see if I can catch a glimpse of that thing. Guys out there in the listening audience, let us know what you thought of Pinegrove. Did you have a similar experience to John? If you have yet to give this a song, or did John's experience listening to the song remind you of your first experience when you heard it? Please let us know what you think down in the comments field below. We love interacting with you guys and seeing you guys chat it up together. All that out of the way, also please think about liking, sharing, and subscribing if you'd be so inclined. We really do appreciate any kind of push you guys give to the algorithm gods by sharing or liking this and helping us spread the good word and the gospel here of the Audiophiles. Hopefully, John and I will see all y'all in growing numbers and the next installment of the Audiophiles. We'll see you later, guys.